The Intuitive Solitude SolePath. Let's do our affirmation. I am an intuitive solitude. I am fun and full, and I choose to have fun. Intuitive Solitude SolePath. As an intuitive solitude, you have a great imagination and require quiet time to manifest your ideas. You are very comfortable and content when you are alone and able to be yourself. You may be a little unconventional and even a little eccentric, but you certainly are independent and introspective and are very self-motivated. Your core energy as an intuitive solitude is imagination, quietness, and contentment. This core energy represents those core positive values deep within you that create an expansion of your energy, which creates positive knowing. Being an intuitive solitude means that, like Beatrix Potter, you love to retreat into quiet so that you can express and manifest your imagination and then return to peaceful and loving interactions with others. Your greatest fulfillment is accessing and manifesting your imagination. So who am I? Who is the intuitive solitude? I respond to the world through my gut feeling. I trust my physical sensation in the pit of my gut. When I follow my gut feelings, I don't make mistakes. I get into difficulty when I don't trust this and overthink or allow the opinions of others to get in the way. Or my heart. My gut will let me know if I'm not trusting my intuition by manifesting gut illness. Examples: food allergies, ulcers, constipation, hemorrhoids, etc. Some may call me a loner. I am most comfortable when I am alone. I am self-sufficient. I am independent. I am conventional and perhaps a little eccentric. I don't care about being popular. I feel good about myself just as I am. I need time alone to connect with my imagination, and to some, this may seem antisocial. I don't really understand the emotional needs of others and can suffer withdrawal if I don't find time to be by myself. I must admit that I find most social interactions to be draining and am really unable to bear small talk. I suppose this makes me introverted, but I am not unfriendly. I have a few carefully chosen intimate friends who I feel confident around and am even quite talkative with. I sometimes just withdraw from the world. That means there is nothing wrong with me at these times. I just simply need space to rejuvenate and reconnect with my imagination. What am I doing here? My joy comes from accessing my extraordinary imagination, which is quiet contributor to society. The only way I can access my imagination is to be alone. I am self-motivated and introspective. I use my alone time to explore with my imagination, with my ideas and thoughts, and that I am happy to share with others my own way. Intuitive Solitude SolePath characteristics: intuitive, self-sufficient, independent, most comfortable alone, extraordinary imagination, introspective, feel good about myself, self-motivated, need time to rejuvenate and reconnect with imagination, happy to share ideas and thoughts with others, few carefully chosen friends in my circle. So who is the intuitive solitude? People with an intuitive solitude soul path are inherently fun and full. This means that you're an intuitive person who is positive and playful, full of ideas, and one who needs physical activity. Your superpower is your sixth sense. Special gifts and greatness of the intuitive soul path is vivid imagination, one who can be eccentric and solitary. So imagination. The intuitive solitude has a wonderful imagination. You need lots of quiet time alone with your imagination and need the tools to manifest your ideas. For example, art supplies, paper, blank canvas, computers, and journals. You need to find ways to encourage your imagination, including fun activities. With imagination, the intuitive solitude can envision what others cannot. This is an incredible life skill, and you just need quiet and space to access your imagination. You can encourage your ideas with reading, recreation, and having the time and space for daydreaming. Eccentric? The intuitive solitude is a little different, perhaps even eccentric. You don't need to fit in. You need to celebrate your difference and realize that it makes you an interesting person. You are not necessarily antisocial. After spending time alone, you enjoy loving, peaceful, and quiet interactions with others whom you choose. The intuitive solitude can sometimes withdraw to themselves, but know this: you are instinctively a person with high self-esteem who is content and feels good about yourself. With your extraordinary imagination, you are self-motivated and a quiet contributor to society. Solitary. The intuitive solitude is introspective and more comfortable alone. It's okay that the intuitive solitude works best alone. You may feel that there is something wrong with you, as you are sometimes solitary, prefer to think by yourself, and are necessarily a collaborator. The intuitive solitude is self-reliant, and you may simply prefer to get things done by yourself. You have a few carefully chosen and very good friends and cultivate meaningful relationships with them, rather than being the life and soul of the party. You're independent and self-sufficient, but could sometimes be too serious, which may lead to pessimism. Fun activities that stimulate your imagination will help you cope with this. After introspection, when you return to the group, you are really happy to quietly share your ideas, thoughts, and imagination with others. Some more intuitive solitude tools. There's some light switch questions to ask yourself to actively engage your intuitive solitude. What can I imagine? Do I need to be quiet and alone? So a prescription for action that you can take to trigger your intuitive solitude. Write down your ideas. Take action to manifest your ideas. So the intuitive solitude in a nutshell: imagination, eccentric, solitary. Your superpower is your sixth sense. Intuitive, ideas, positive, playful, and physical. And here are some people who have passed over that lived the same life as an intuitive solitude. Stephen Hawking, and Ayrton Senna, Dale Earnhardt, Amy Winehouse, Gordie Howe, lived a life, a path, I shall say, of an intuitive solitude. Now I'm going to read the dark path of the intuitive solitude. Remember, the dark path is a mastered skill, something you are very familiar with that has a been there, done that energy about it, and often feels unfulfilling and frustrating. Dark paths are a continuum, and you are just as likely to connect with the light paths as the dark path. The dark path prescription gives you the full picture, but you won't necessarily be this person. Be aware of those things that occur regularly that you need to work on. As a dark intuitive solitude, you're just as likely to be full of imagination, maybe a little eccentric, and sometimes solitary. All the light path characteristics. As you are able to take on the collapsing behavior. Who is the dark path intuitive solitude? The core energy for the dark intuitive solitude is being introverted, antisocial, and emotionally unavailable, sometimes holding grudges for years. I am a sinister loner. If I feel that you are against me, I will plot your demise. When I was on the outside of the group at school, when you ostracized me, I was working out how best to harm you, mentally and physically. I hold grudges and may work on how to hurt you for years before implementing my plan. Because I spend so much time alone and don't have close relationships with others, your perceived wrongs get blown out of paradigm in my mind, and my plotting and desire to hurt you gets magnified. Other negative characteristics of a dark intuitive solitude. I am emotionally unavailable and withhold my affection, especially if I feel that you aren't acting in the way that I want you to. I don't know how to share or reciprocate in human interactions and am withdrawn in social situations. Some intuitive solitude dark characteristics. Need time alone, antisocial, introverted, loner, sinister, hold grudges for years, unconventional and eccentric, will plot demise of others, unable to bear small talk, sometimes withdraw from the world, don't understand emotional needs of others, unable to share or reciprocate in human interactions, withdrawn in social situations, blow perceived wrongs out of proportion. More pieces to the dark path puzzle of an intuitive solitude. There's a dark path need. For the solitude, need to be cut off from all except a chosen few. Antidote. Interact. Find ways to participate in authentic interaction with those outside of your chosen few. Dark fears. I fear that I could harm someone as I never forgive and forget. I harbor sinister and unbalanced thoughts about the world and about you. I blow things out of proportion. Dark path identity. I am alone. Dark path subconscious reaction. I won't share my feelings. So dark intuitive solitude. This is one of the gifts that SolePath offers people. Knowing your soul path, knowing your dark path. For how dark the words that I have read out may sound, it is a life experience that you have mastered. And having friends and family know your soul paths. There's your team. There's your toolbox. They're there to help because they'll recognize and they'll be of service. But it sure would be great for you if you knew your light paths and you knew your dark path. And you can do this by going to the SolePath website That's SolePath.org. And request your soul path.